Good morning, my Teaser King family. How are you today? I am fine. Hope you're well. I'm going to get my coffee just a second. Sorry about that. So how's everybody today? I am fine. Our lock won yesterday, Philadelphia. Ended up going 5-5 yesterday, plus 1 unit, and that's where the lock comes in. I did lose the 3 unit pit under with Skeins against Spaghetti for Houston. Two pitchers with the 2 ERA, and it was like a 9-5 game. I lost. All of a sudden, the Tigers are playing. They got 2 hitters back, and the one catcher's hitting the ball, and the managers are just idiots. They don't know what to do as far as let's pitch around them because they still have 4 guys that can't hit. So let's look at yesterday's scores. We got Miami 4, Washington 1. Tigers win 7-2. Tampa's good pitcher pitched. The Tigers guy I never heard of just came back, and he pitched pretty well. I don't know. Tampa's not hitting. The Tigers, it's just like 3 or 4 hitters, and they're not pitching around them. The White Sox 8-0 over the Twins. We had that game over 9, and they didn't get there. The Mets 7, Seattle 1, so the Mets are starting to play in Seattle. The Phillies got the win. That was the lock, 3-2. Sanchez loses scoreless inning streak. I didn't know he had one, but so he gets the win for us. Big lock, and I'm surprised they only got 3 runs off of Ferris Bueller because he gives up a ton of runs. The Red Sox 8, the Orioles 1. We didn't play this one. Cleveland 5, the Yankees 4. I had the Yankees under 7. They had whatchamacallit back. Their pitcher who's been hurt, he came back. What's his name? And Gary Cole. So Cole pitched, and he pitched like a pig. There was a lot of that going on yesterday. Skeins didn't pitch well. Let's see. So KC 5-2 over the Reds. We had Cincinnati and their ace with a 2.0 ERA. He gives up 5 runs to Kansas City. Well, him in the bullpen. That was totally unexpected. KC can't hit. The Braves 7, Toronto 3. We did have Atlanta over 8. The 49ers 1, Milwaukee nothing. And in a rare occurrence, we didn't play Milwaukee because we didn't know who their pitcher was. We couldn't bet on TBD, and the Giants don't score, and I don't play it. Cardinals 5, Texas 3. I was going to play the under in the game, and it was an 8, and the total was under 8, but I didn't bet it. Oakland 5, the Cubs 4. We have the Cubs over 8.5. We get there at 9 because went to 10 innings. Houston 11, Pittsburgh 9. This is with Skeins on the mound. And I lose when I played Pitt under 8 because Houston had their ace on the mound. So between the two teams, they had their aces on the mound. They fucking play an 11-9 game. Skeins laboring to get deep in the game. So let's look at Skeins. Let's look at this crazy game. Skeins pitches 109 pitches, 7 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts. He pitches 4 2/3 innings. His ERA is now 3.09. What do we do with this guy? I mean, he's the best pitcher in baseball. He goes to it's all streaks, so he's 3 runs in 4 innings is not Paul Scanes. 7 hits, but 109 pitches in 4 2/3 innings is crazy. You're pitching 25, 28 pitches an inning. So these teams are just hitting a bunch of foul balls off of them. There's only 1 walk. Then the next guy, Ramirez, comes in, and Montgomery comes in. They both have 5 ERAs. They give up 2 runs, 3 runs, and then Soto gives up 3 runs. This is the problem with the bullpen. And then sometimes the bullpen, you see a bunch of zeros, so you don't know what the fuck's going on. Houston, which can hit, a 290 hitter, a 316 hitter. And I think that's all they got. They got a 286 guy pinch hitting, and a 270 hitter batting ninth, the second baseman. So they got 3 hitters on their team that hit over 250, and 220, 220, 190, 203, 273, 248. So there's okay, yeah, I didn't see it. So so you got 290, 316, 273, and 2 guys hitting 240. And they put up all this runs on Scanes. And then we look at Arrighetti, their ace. He's got a 1.94 ERA. So yeah, we're expecting a lot of runs with these two. Gives up 6 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. And he gave up 83 pitches in 4 innings. I don't know why they took him out. Well, maybe because he gave up 6 hits and 4 runs in 4 innings. So, this is the strange part about baseball. We got 2 aces. There's no way. We got over 8.5. We got under 8.5. We got under 8 yesterday. I'm expecting a 2-1 game with Scanes and Arrighetti, both with 2 ERAs, and we get 11-9. You couldn't bet that. In a million years, you couldn't bet that game over, and yet it gets 20 runs because they each pitch 4 innings. I don't know. California 11 and Colorado 4. We had California. They had the Rockies had their shit pitcher, and we took advantage of it. And see, that's what it is. That I expect. The pitcher had like a 7.80 ERA. We took California. We got the win 11-4. But even if I had taken Scanes, they still lost the game. That's why I didn't play Scanes, because they were Getty with the 1.94 ERA. So you've got to play it under. Now, this is baseball. So I'm going to play that. Every time I get it, I'm going to play it under. Right. And I'll play it under 20 times. And we'll win 17 of the 20. That was one of the 3, and there's nothing you can do about it. It was a good bet, and you're going to follow it up with a good bet. But we need Scanes to go more than 4 innings, throwing 109 pitches. That's crazy. And our last game, the Dodgers beat Arizona 7-0. We have the Dodgers. So we actually go 5-5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we got 5 winners, 5 losers. We did lose a 3-unit play on Scanes. We played that under for 3 units. It was such an easy one. Cincinnati, their ace, I can't figure out. We do win Atlanta. We do win the Cubs over California, the Dodgers, and, of course, our Philly. We lose with Tampa Bay, and we lose with Minnesota over, which was strange. So the pitchers with these 5 ERAs are throwing shutouts, and Scanes and Arrighetti are giving up 10 runs. The point of the bets, that's why we look at the pitchers and the ERAs is, well, he's got a 2 ERA. They're not going to hit him. That's how you get a 2 ERA. Nobody can hit you. But apparently Houston with their three hitters can hit Skanes and Pittsburgh Pittsburgh's got 6 or 7 hitters. That's why I normally take Skanes because Pitt can hit. Anyway, that's yesterday's news. So now let's quickly go to basketball because I'm in Yahoo, and then we'll go to today's games. So in the NBA, the Knicks are winning. San Antonio's winning. San Antonio's a big lead, and the Knicks come back to win it. 105-95. Wemby looked gas at the end of game 1 loss. I don't know about that. I don't like him shooting these 3-point shots. It's ridiculous. You're 7'4", son. Get under the basket. How many 3-point shots would Wilt or Kareem take? Yeah, 0. All right, so next game we've got San Antonio minus 5.5, 214. Take San Antonio. I know the Knicks are hot, and we're not going to lock it. We're just going to play a normal 2-unit. San Antonio had the lead and couldn't keep it. Brunson looked okay. The Knicks looked okay. And I'm not crazy about this bet, but this is the proper bet. Taking San Antonio, who are down 1-0, who must win, or they're down 2-0 and go to play New York for 2 games and could get swept. So this is kind of do or die for San Antonio. They go down 2-0 and go to New York for 2. They might not be coming back. And I don't know, is this 2-3-2 or 2-2-2, 1-1-1 like normal? Anyway, so it's really pressure on San Antonio game 2. New York went for the split. They got the win. They got the split in San Antonio. I mean, so they at least won 1 game in San Antonio. The total on the game was 200. And the spread was 218, I think. So again, you don't even know if you go over or under in the game. You'd think with Winnebago, it's more under because he's going to block a lot of shots. San Antonio, I don't know what they're doing. To have this guy shoot 3-point shots, you got a terrible coach. This guy should never shoot 3-point shots. He needs to be down low in the paint. Let him do sky hooks. Let him do little moves. We don't want him 20 feet away from the basket, right? Do you want Robert Parrish, Kevin McHale 20 feet away from the basket? Kareem, Wilt, Bob Lanier, Moses. No, you don't want these guys 20 feet away from the basket. Elijah David Robinson. Elijah could get about 10 feet away and make his shot, but Patrick Ewing, you want these guys underneath the basket. They're big guys. That's how you play basketball. Oh, basketball's changed. Bullshit. Basketball hasn't changed. The rim's 10 feet high. The lane's the lane. No, you want these big guys there. So we're taking San Antonio tomorrow. Lay the 5.5. They're going to play their best game. Now, is that enough? I don't know. Are the Knicks going to just keep winning and sweep? They look hot. They had no problem with Philly, who I thought they would give them problems. They just they're passing the ball. They're getting the ball inside. So they are tough to beat. They can obviously to go to San Antonio, and they were down in the third quarter, 10 points or 14 points, and come back. And the win by 10 is misleading because San Antonio at the end just firing up 3-point shots. They weren't really playing their game. So we'll see about that. But if San Antonio's this good and they beat Oklahoma, you don't know. I thought they'd win game 1. They had it won, then they lost it. How much of it was from Oklahoma where they're flat? An emotional series, an emotional game 7. But now I think they're pissed, and this is it. So take San Antonio. They have to win. We'll see. Hopefully it's a W, but you never know. I've already picked my baseball, but I'm going to go through it with you, gentlemen and ladies. Again, it's $25. I gave you the free pick in the title. The free pick's going to be Philadelphia again. Ride the horse till it stops. But really, it's a pitching matchup. And I got a haircut at 2:30 today. So I keep getting more and more here, as you can see, but it comes in like this. It comes in a little bit light and it comes in a little bit gray. And then when I get there, I don't know how to, she tries to like comb it down, but it's, like this, but it's stupid. I don't really like that. I like the way my style was, but I don't have the hair on top to make it look good. So we'll figure it out. All right. Free play. Philadelphia against San Diego. We got Gialti for San Diego, 5.25 ERA against Zach Wheeler, 2.30 ERA. Now you can understand why it's the free pick. Giolotto has pitched 3 games. He's won all 3, but 2 or 5 innings and one was he didn't win it. The team won with him. One, and the last game was 2 innings, gave up 5 hits and 4 runs. He had a 5-hit shutout, and then in 5 innings, he gave up 1 hit and 3 runs, and it wasn't a homer. I always get that. There was one game the guy gave up 5 runs on 1 hit. I'm like, how can you do that? A grand slam, I guess. Anyway, so he's a 5-inning pitcher. How good is San Diego? Has a good bullpen. Zach Wheeler, 2.30 ERA. And Zach is 6-1. He won 6 in a row, lost to the Dodgers. Okay, that makes sense. And that was his worst game he's had. He's had 2 shutouts, 2 1-run games where he's given up 1 run, a 2-run, and then the 5-hit 4-run game to the Dodgers. So Phillies 201, 8.5. We're taking Zach Wheeler, your free play. Make some money. And really, it's Giolotto with a 5.25 ERA, Zach Wheeler with a real 2.3 ERA. It's at Philly. Philly beat them. It's a travel day, so San Diego wants to go to their next thing. So we will see. But that's what we like, Philadelphia. We'll talk streaks in a minute. Baltimore, Boston, Trevor Rogers, 6.94 against Brian Bello, 9.9 ERAs. Boston's 113, 10.5. My first thought was to play this game over, and I didn't. But I'm not going to tell you what I did because I gave you your free pick. I can tell you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wow, 2, 4. I can give you Rogers is on a 7-game losing streak for Baltimore. And Bello with a 9.9 ERA is deceiving because he's lost 4 in a row. But in his last 5 games, he gave up 2 4 hits on 1 run. 8 runs and 7 hits, or 8 hits and 7 runs, and then 8 hits and 2 runs, 4 hits and 0 runs. So his last 2 games have been good. He gave up 7 to Atlanta, but then Minnesota and Cleveland. See, here's the thing: he pitched 7 innings, gives up 4 hits and no runs against Cleveland, but they lose 4-3. But it's not his fault. So the bullpen's a little weak. But he's lost 7 of the last 8, this Bello guy. So he's no bargain either, but Rogers has lost his last 7. The total of 10.5, I didn't know what to do with it because Bello's pitched pretty good, except for he had that one bad game. And Rogers, didn't give up a lot. So you could go over, but Rogers on a 7-game losing streak. So Cleveland and the Yankees, Saccone. The Yankees 161, 8.5. It's nice if I give the odds first. Saccone 5-3-1 against Rodon 3-3-2, and Judge is out of the lineup. So that doesn't help you. Yankees probably leads to unders if we get the right matchup, but Saccone with the 5.31 ERA doesn't help you. And Rodon, let's look at Rodon. He pitched some pretty good games lately, and he's 1-3 in his 4 games. He was injured, so he's May 10th, and it was 2 hits and 3 runs, 3 hits, 3 runs. And his last 2 games were 3 hits, 1 run, 4 hits, 1 run, 5 and 6 innings. So the last 2 games was 1 run. So he's starting to pitch better. Schittler got the shit beat out of him yesterday. The Yankees under 7 with Schittler did not work. It was a really confusing. Schittler, Scanes, Arrighetti, and none of them did anything. It's just, you just scratch your head. We did win with the Philadelphia ace, thank God. Saccone 5-3-1. So this would be an over, but I don't have Judge, so I got to pay attention to that. Saccone gave up 3 runs, 2, 0, and 2. So he does give up runs. So his 5.31 ERA is probably not that high. Rodon, it could be an under game without Judge. Rodon's a little better than Cleveland. I did not play this game. Okay. The 49ers go to the Packers in our favorite interdivisional NFL game. Green Bay minus 180 and 9. Hauser from Total Recall. I thought he pitched the other day. So he's pitching today. 5.62 ERA, goes against Crow with a 3.21 from Milwaukee. All right. Toronto and Atlanta. Well, let's see what happens with Chris Sale today. Atlanta minus 200, 8.5, over under 8.5. Fluharty with the 4.50 for Toronto against Chris Sale, 201. We don't need to look at Chris Sale. Fluharty, 4.50. I did look at him. And I think he's a bullpenner. Yeah, so you don't even get anything. He's just a bullpen guy going against Chris Sale. You make the call there. Is Chris Sale gonna be Chris Sale, or is he gonna be like Scanes and throw 100 pitches in 4 innings? I mean, this is where it gets difficult. This stupid pitch count that shouldn't be. Scanes should have pitched 6, 7 innings and had 180 pitches. Who cares? He can do that. There's Nolan Ryan pitched many 200 pitch games. Jack Morris in that World Series went all 10 innings. I'm sure he pitched more than 100 pitches. It's just the pitcher has to get ready to pitch that much. KC, Minnesota. KC minus 110 and 9. We've got Seth Lugo, who's been 3.55 ERA against Morris. Andrew Morris, and he is a bullpenner. Game log. 1 inning, and he gave up 2 runs, 1 run, so he's not all that. His ERA is 4.07. So now we look at it differently. We got Seth Lugo against Morris, 4.07. But again, he only pitches 1 inning, and he allows runs. So I don't know. KC, Minnesota can hit. KC put up a big number against Minnesota's pitcher. So don't know what to say there. Oakland goes to the Cubs. The Raiders and the Bears. Very good game. I think it's 84-85. They're on YouTube. The Bears minus 130 and 10.5. Jim McMahon will be playing today. Jay Ginn, he's our no-hitter guy for Oakland, 2.60 ERA. Goes against Imanagaga with the 4.37 for the Cubbies. So we know Ginn, he had the no-hitter through 8. And if we look at his last 5, he's 3-2. Gave up 1 run last game, 2 runs on 2 innings, 2 runs on 8, 1 run. Those last 5, the most he's given up is 2 runs. So he beat the Yanks 6-4. He lost the no-hitter against California 2-1. And then he beat St. Louis and Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they beat 12-1. He pitched 8 innings and gave up 1 run, 4 hits and 1 run. So he's fully capable. JT Ginn against Amanamaga for the Cubbies. Now, I wonder if they factor in their win, because this total is 10.5, makes no sense with Ginn with his 2 ERA. Amanamaga from Japan, one of the Mr. Fuji guys. Mr. Fuji obviously recruited him. He's lost his last 4. So we will add him to the list. Man, a guy. Cubs. So I'm keeping track now. We've got 2, 4, 6, 8. We got 9 pitchers who are like this guy's 4. Most of them are 5, 6, 7 on 7-game losing streaks. If we look at his last 5 games, he gave up 1 run, 2 runs, 8 runs, 7 runs, and 5 runs. So the last 3 games, he's sucked. And now you got Oakland who can hit. I don't know the 10.5. If Ginn pitches his game and Iamaga gives up all these runs, I think what you're looking at is Oakland winning. Maybe it goes over, because Oakland's certainly going to score on Iamaga. The question is the Cubs scoring on Ginn? The Pirates in Houston. So after yesterday's Aces game, Scanes against Arrighetti, we got Houston minus 107, 8.5. We got Jones, 11.25 ERA against Tang with the 3.27 ERA. So let's look at Jones. And I think it's a bullshit ERA because he's only pitched in 1 game. They actually beat Minnesota 6. So he pitched 4 innings, gave up 7 hits and 5 runs. That's how you get an 11 ERA. So who knows? Now we look at 2014, he had a 4.14 ERA, pitched in 22 games, started all of them, was 6-8 with the 4.14. So clearly he's a 4 ERA guy. And then Tang with the 3.27 is this guy for real from Taiwan instead of Japan. Are the Taiwan pitchers better than the Japan pitchers? Who's our manager in Taiwan? Jimmy Hart, maybe? Or my favorite would be Mr. Fuji throwing sand in the eyes. Maybe Classy Freddie Blassie might be the manager for the Taiwan guys. Or maybe Bobby the Brain Heenan. It could, because he's into the microchips. This guy is a starter. Well, he's a both. The first 6 games, it was 2 innings, 1 inning. The last 4 have been 3 innings, 5 innings, 6 innings, 5 innings. Last 5 games, 2 innings was a shutout. 3 innings, gave up 3 runs. 5 innings shutout, 6 innings shutout. 5 innings, he gave up 3 runs to Milwaukee. He did shut out the Cubbies and Texas. Anybody, I could shut out Texas, but against the Cubbies is good. So what do we do here? Tang, kind of a bullpen guy, and then Jones pitched 1 game. Pittsburgh, I know, can hit the fuck out of the ball. And Houston, now here's where I look at streaks. Houston beat Scanes, and he had 106 pitches in 4 2/3 innings. This is a problem. You can't run it. You got to be able to go 150, 200 pitches. you can't let them just hit foul ball. And he didn't walk a lot of people's game. He had like 8 or 9 strikeouts. So I can imagine all the foul balls, obviously, not a lot of walks. The Houston's going to walk a lot. Pittsburgh's bullpen's probably drained from yesterday. We will see. I would think there'd be a lot of runs in this game. But Jones is not an 11.25 ERA pitcher, that's for sure. And Tang. So that's what you have. Hard to say. So you can't really play a pitcher here. You will. Classy Freddie Blassie will be there for Tang. I don't know Jones. We will see who his manager is. Anyway, what do you do with this game? I mean, it was a 10-9 game with Scanes and Arrighetti, so you got to figure they're both hitting. And our last game, the Dodgers go to Arizona. The Dodgers 128-9. Robleski 264. He's been pitching good. And Ryan Nelson for Arizona from Las Vegas. Ooh, you gotta like a guy from Las Vegas. He's a regular pitcher, 7 innings, 8 innings. His last 5, he gave up 1 run, 3, 1 and 5. Hasn't faced the Dodgers before. Lost to Seattle 5-1. Beat Colorado 9-1. The Niners 5-3. Texas. So not teams that hit very well. And he still gave up 3 runs. So he gives up a lot of runs. But Robleski doesn't. So I think this is a strong pitcher against the weak one. The Dodgers, they did win with Shotani yesterday. So at least somebody won. And that's it. So free play Philadelphia. I have played 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 plays. They're all yours for a mere price of $25 for the whole week. I'm just shocked when people I don't get 100 buyers for $25 for a week of baseball. Because now I can actually pick it. So for this week, we lost 4 units on 6-1. We won 5 units 6-2. We won 1 unit on 6-3. So it's been a difficult week. 6-1 was tough. Well, 6-1, there was only really, we went 2-3, but Cincinnati fucked us because they changed pitchers, and California lost with their pitcher. So we really wouldn't have bet Cincinnati if the pitcher didn't pitch. He pitched yesterday. So you got to be careful with him. He's maybe hurt if he missed the start. So we will see. What do we do with Scanes? I think we just got to wait. He's got to figure out how to go more than 4 innings and pitch 100 pitches. A lot of foul ball. They're just doing that to him, right? So my guess tonight is the Pittsburgh pitcher pitches 100 and goes 3 innings. Houston looks like a money ball team. They're just going to hit foul balls off you. Altuve's not. He's not playing. He's out right now. Judge is out right now. As far as I know, Harper's playing. So who do we trust? And this is, even Ranger Suarez is good. I think part of this is because there's so many bad hitters that these good pitchers look better. Again, now Scanes is the best. The guy on Cincinnati's not bad. Rangers Suarez, Chris Sale tonight. These are good pitchers. I don't know if they're great pitchers, but they're made to look better against some of these teams. All you can do is just watch the streak of the teams. Like the Tigers now have won 3 in a row. I can't believe they got their second baseman back and Kerry Cunningham back. and all of a sudden they win 3 games over Tampa. Now, 2 of the pitchers suck for Tampa, but not yesterday. They had their ace going yesterday, and the Tigers beat them 7-2. The thing that puzzles me is Tampa didn't hit. Tampa had 6 hitters, and they didn't. They got shut out by a nobody the other day. But he was a new pitcher, so they don't know how to read him. And then Joe Flaherty, SCTV guy, goes and shuts them out, which that's ridiculous. And then yesterday was a 7-2 game. So I don't know what to say. Detroit, they're the worst team in the league, and then they beat Tampa. They got Seattle coming into town. It's all the pitcher. Now, if they face Ric Flair, this will be interesting what we do with it. But, this is why you play the streak. They're hot. You play Detroit. Again, I can't believe the one hitter's a 230 hitter, and their other hitter's their second baseman who can't play second, but he hits like 280. So now the question you have is, why are they pitching to these guys? Just pitch around them. They don't have it. They got 2 or 3 hitters. That's it. Just pitch around them. So when they face really weak pitching and they get hits, but this is what the Detroit, the radio guys and the things they just bypass. Yeah, they hit a guy who's a minor leaguer and they hit him. Yeah, okay, great. Yeah, but you're not looking at who pitched against them. But yesterday there was a good pitcher. So don't know what to say. This Dingler is hot. Pitch around him. Just walk him. Don't give him anything good to hit. The guy's getting 3-4 hits the last couple of games. He's hitting home runs. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be pitching to him. He's a 230 hitter. Just, okay, he's hot. You don't keep pitching to him. These managers are they don't understand streaks. They just want to play analytics. It's retarded. These guys are absolutely retards. If a guy's hot, I'm not pitching to him. I would not have pitched to Joe DiMaggio in his 56-game hitting streak. But he was the best hitter in the league, Joe DiMaggio. He'd hit like 350, 360. The Tiger manager would have pitch hit for him. Sorry, Joe. Nah, they got a righty on the mound. We got to go with the lefty. Who? Yeah, he's hitting $125, but he's a lefty and you're a righty, and it's a righty pitcher. We don't think you can hit righties with a 350 lifetime average. Yeah, you probably can't hit it. That's how stupid the managers are now. Playing analytics way too much. They just don't understand it. Terrible, man. I'd fire the manager. They won 3 in a row. Okay. Are they stealing signs again? Is that what's happening? Is that how they win? They found a way to steal signs in Tampa. So we will see. They still have a bunch of 2. I think they still have 4 hitters hitting in the 140 to 160 range. So we will see. So you got 3 or 4 hitters. Big whippy. The pitching, very inconsistent. I mean, when Joe Flaherty shuts out somebody, do a drug test on him. All right. So that's basketball. Basketball, we are taking San Antonio -5.5. They have to win. And you got to bet them. Now, will they win, or is New York really that good, or New York, it doesn't. You got to just play it. But now San Antonio needs the game. And that's all you can do. That's the only way you can bet this game, too. Can you take the Knicks in 5.5? You certainly can, but they don't need the game. They got the split. That's all they wanted. Now in New York, they'll probably win in game 3, but we'll see. All right, baseball free pick Philadelphia. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games, and one 3-unit lock play, and that's it for that. Gold and silver starting to move. But the old 10 o'clock drop hit us. I thought it wasn't going to hit us. It was a little after 10, and it goes from 45.10 to 44. It goes down $40 at 10 o'clock. After it was 40.70, it goes up to 45.10. So it goes up $40 at 8 o'clock, goes a little bit down, goes back to 45.10, and then back to 45.65. Silver, same thing. It got up to 75, 73. What a manipulated piece of garbage this is. Again, the 10 o'clock drop. And then the rest of the day, when the U.S. has it until like 5:30, it doesn't really jump back. It just sits there. At least we're 40. At least we see it go up at 44. But again, a total manipulated market. Done by options is it's not nobody. This isn't going down because Turk's selling physical gold. It's impossible. This is done by derivatives and options, and only goes down when somebody sells their options. And that's what you have here. So 44.64. We'll check in later. Interesting one by Egon today. So a good show by Egon. We'll take a look at that. This war keeps going on, and what the gas prices are going higher, which we know. All right, so here's Egon's. Gold will not go up. So what he really means is that his gold doesn't go up. It's the dollar will be out and gold's price will zoom. But in reality, gold's purchasing power will stay the same. And I disagree with him. From a dollar standpoint, I do understand, but from a market standpoint of demand, supply, demand, and demand going up, the purchasing power will go up and the price will go up due to demand, not just the dollar going out. All right. So here's Egon. It's about 12 minutes. It's a good class.
Most investors are not aware that they're standing on the edge of a precipice. Most investors believe that, as for the last, let's say, 50 years at least, all the bubble assets will continue to grow to heaven, whether they're stocks or bonds, property, or other paper assets. But sadly, this time, they will lose everything. We're coming to the end of a monetary era, and we're coming to the end of a bubble asset era. This will mean that all of these bubble assets, paper assets, will go down in real terms by 50, 70, 90%, or even some by 100%, like bonds, because a lot of bonds will become worthless, including sovereign bonds. This is nothing new. It's happened time and time again in history, because when it comes to the end of a monetary era, so much money has been printed, such big deficits have been accumulated, and the only solution is, sadly, a collapse of the monetary system, which, of course, has happened without fail in every single monetary era. We are now looking at the end of this currency era, an era where most currencies have gone down by 97 to 99% in the last 50, 70 years, or even since the creation of the Fed in 1913. So let's look at the fate of the currencies. Voltaire said in 1729, paper money eventually returns to its intrinsic value, zero. And this graph shows it clearly. It shows all of the major currencies from around 1910 to today. All these currencies have lost, as you can see, 97 to 99%. And we're waiting for the final 1 to 3% now. Let's look at the currencies one by one quickly. We take the mark, of course, it collapsed already in the Weimar Republic when it lost all of its value. We'll look at the details of that in a little while. And of course, the mark was followed by the yen, the pound, the dollar, the euro. And since 1970, all these currencies have crashed by over 95%. As I've been saying, the 1% left to go to zero, it's going to happen. And that's going to happen in the next few years. It's absolutely certain. Because history doesn't fail. History does rhyme. History does repeat itself. And history will prove that even this time, paper money will die and this monetary era will finish. So anyone who believes that it's going to be different this time, and anyone who has money to protect or investments to protect, will lose most of the money, or if not all of the money, especially if it's in paper assets. And that will happen over the next few years. Let's just look at what happens at the end of a monetary era. This is the example, an extreme example, admittedly, but it is not uncommon. In the 1920s, Germany had major war operations after the First World War, debts that they could never, of course, repay. The solution was for Germany was to print money. And of course, that destroyed the currency totally. And we see here the example of the German mark going in gold terms. And gold, remember, measures real money, money that is always maintaining its purchasing power. So the mark price of gold went from 100 in 1919 to over 100 trillion in 2023. Yes, I repeat, 100 trillion. Of course, it was not real money anymore. It was just totally worthless, and nobody really was interested in getting paid in worthless pieces of paper. Now, I've explained many times why this extreme example repeats itself throughout history. And it's for the simple reason, I mean, it's really a combination of math and science, and it's called exponential growth. So I show here a stadium which is filled with water, first one drop, and then after a minute, 2 drops, and then it doubles 4, 8, etc. And then the question is, how long does it take for the stadium to fill? Some people will say, well, it depends on the size of the stadium. Well, it doesn't really, because even if the stadium is double the size, it might take another second to fill it. So the stadium actually fills in 50 minutes, but it's in the final 5 minutes, approximately, that it goes from 7% full to 100% full. So this is exactly the same as happens to money when money reaches the exponential stages of money printing. So this is why you could see, as I've showed before, this previous slide, the mark valued in gold went from 100 to 100 trillion. And the biggest move happened at the very end of 2023. This is what we like to see in this period when the current monetary era is finishing. We're probably not going to see that level of hyperinflation, but we could see the level of inflation as I saw, for example, in the early 1970s when I was in the UK, when we had about 15, 17% inflation for up to 7 years. 7 years of inflation at that level. And that is most likely going to happen in the US, in the UK, in Germany, in France, in Japan, and many other countries. And that will totally kill their currencies. So let's look at the other side of the collapse of the currencies going to zero. Remember, they're already down, most of them, by 99%. So it's not far to go. But the final bit, as we saw in Germany, is going to be massive. And a lot of people will lose most of their money, as I said before, because they're not going to protect themselves. They're going to continue to invest in bubble assets. Now look at just what happened to gold since the money printing accelerated in the 1970s when Nixon had closed the gold window in 1971. At that time, gold was fixed at $35 an ounce, and Nixon basically decided that we can't afford to keep the dollar pegged to gold. Instead, we want to be able to issue unlimited credit, which they started, and the whole world started at the same time. And this is why, as I said, the currency has gone down by 99% since 1971. Now you can see the corresponding rise in gold during this era. Gold is actually up 130 times in US dollars since 1971. And of course, Nixon lied when he said that a dollar will be worth as much in the future as it is today. Well, that was clearly nonsense, because the dollar lost 99% of its value since then. Politicians always lie all the time to save their skin, to buy votes, and sadly, people fall for it because nobody realized that they should protect themselves from what Nixon decided to do to end the monetary era at that time. When we look at gold then from 1970 to 1980, when it went up from $35 to $850, then a long correction, 20 years, and then another big move. And we moved into gold at that time, at the beginning of 2000, when all the central banks, as you can see here on the graph, the central banks were selling gold at the very bottom. The UK did, Switzerland did, Canada sold all of its gold, Norway sold all of its gold. So very few countries had any significant amount of gold left. And now, as I said, gold has gone up 130 times since 1971, but that's just the beginning. Why does gold go up? Well, just you could look at the graph of money supply. Here, for example, is the US money supply, M2. That's also grown exponentially since 1972. But let's turn the chart around again and ask, is gold really going up? No, it isn't. It is the value of paper money that is going down. Gold is just constant purchasing power. So how far will gold go in this final move of the currencies down to zero? Well, that is a wrong question to ask. People always ask, what's the gold price going to be at the end of this year, next year? How high will gold go? It's an irrelevant question, of course. As I said, gold doesn't go up. It's the value of your paper money that is going down. So there's no use measuring gold or measuring your bubble assets, stocks or bonds in dollars or in euros or in yen, because you're measuring it in a unit that is going down in value every day. I showed this in another video with the price of a cow, which for 5,000 years has actually cost between half an ounce and 1 ounce of gold. That is just amazing if you think about it. The price of a cow has cost between half an ounce and 1 ounce of gold. That is, in real money, costs very, very, very similar amount of money for 5,000 years. Of course, normal money, I don't know what a cow cost 5,000 years ago, but I can be quite certain that it's gone up millions of times the price of a cow since then. So please, please don't think about where gold is going to go. First of all, nobody owns gold today. We have been preaching to people for 25 years at least that you are going to lose all your money if you don't protect it now in the form of physical gold and physical silver. Silver has massive potential also. And if you stick to your paper assets, you are not going to have any wealth of any significance left in the coming years. So don't think about how much money you can make or not make if you don't believe in gold in the next few years. Just think about how much money you are going to lose if you don't hold gold and if you don't hold silver. That is the only question you should ask yourself. How much do I stand to lose? If you want my view, and you heard it already, you are going to lose 90 to 95% of all your wealth if you stick to paper assets or the bubble assets. And that could take 5 years, it could take 10 years, but it's going to start soon. As you can see in the graph I showed about the gold price having gone up 130 times since 1971 and having accelerated strongly in the 2000s. Remember, we bought gold for ourselves and for our investors in 2002 at $300. And gold is now $4,500. And the price, of course, measured in dollar terms, which, as I said, is totally meaningless, is going to continue to accelerate. And again, don't look at it that way. Look at it what you are about to lose in your paper wealth if you continue to hold the paper assets that you've made so much money out. Now, when you have a chance, and this gold is still only $4,500, very, very cheap, and silver at $75 is massively cheap also. And you shouldn't buy with one hand. You should buy silver and gold with both hands. And obviously, you got to buy physical. You've got to store it outside the banking system. We help clients with that around the world in many countries. And you have to have it in a safe jurisdiction. And of course, have access to your gold, be able to inspect your gold, and have it insured also. Remember, this is such an important choice for everyone to make. And it's going to be so sad that most people will take the wrong road and actually take the road to perdition. But please, 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 listen to my advice, and I promise you, you are not going to be sorry at the end of this, because you are going to protect your fortune, not for yourself, but also for your family and for your future generations, if you now convert your paper assets to real assets, and especially gold and silver. Thank you very much.
Okay, so let's dissect that. He said history always repeats, only if it's the same history, depending on the details. So, as we see in football, history repeats until it doesn't. The Eagles can beat the Giants 10 times in a row, but then the Giants get new players and Philadelphia's players get injured, and all of a sudden the Giants win. Well, wait a minute. History says Philadelphia always wins if the variables stay the same. And that's my whole thing on variables. In this case, the dollar will collapse. Unless they back it by gold, it will. It already has. All these currencies have lost 99% that he's talked about. That's why the value of your money is worthless. So if you want to hold your value and you don't want to go broke, you buy gold and silver. Now, I'm the perfect example. I'm out of stocks. I'm out of the bank. I'm just in gold and silver and my Mantle cards and Montana cards. And basically, those are real assets. But basically, I need money. I've spent most of my money on some bills, and now I need to get some more money in. And I get Social Security, but I spend it all: rent, credit cards, food, whatever. It's not as much as I need, but it's enough to survive the month. So I need more cash, or I might go on a vacation or whatever. And so therefore I'm going to trade, I think, a Krugerrand at 98%. That's why we're looking at gold going, it hit 4,500. Now it's back to 4,460 or whatever, because of the 10 o'clock drop. So when I go, I will get to the store much after the 10 o'clock drop. I'll have to go in the afternoon when it's coming back, or when we get a 10 o'clock that doesn't drop. It's amazing how this happens, and they let it happen. It's such bullshit, but we'll wait, and it'll get back to 5,000 soon, and then I'll sell 1 ounce, and that's the point of it. You go buy all the gold and silver. You can sell an ounce and get cash back. We know the cash isn't worth anything, so we only get enough cash for a little bit of time. A couple of months, 6 months maybe, and that's the idea of gold and silver. You can always, I paid $1,700 for it. I'm going to get, let's say I get $4,700 for it. Okay, but I'm not there to profit take. I just need to get more cash in. Now, when the cash goes to zero, the gold will go up 10 times, because the demand everybody will be like, oh, I can't use my cash. It's not worth anything. I go to the grocery store and it's $50 for tuna fish. Oh my God, what am I going to do? We'll get into gold and silver, but by then they won't take gold and silver, or they won't take dollars. Like, I've asked my guy, as far as I know, he'll still take the dollars. As far as I know, at the bank, they're still using dollars. So we have time where we can use our dollars to buy more gold and silver. But when that goes and collapses, and it will, as he said, the stocks will go to zero, the bonds will go to zero, the real estate will go to zero, the real estate trust will go to zero, and then gold will really boom, because everybody with any money will then run, and the the frenzy will go into gold and silver because that'll be the only thing. I did notice Bitcoin yesterday was back down to 65,000. So you Bitcoiners, yeah, now how do you feel about it now? Yeah, I know it was 65 and it cranked back up to 80, and it fell to 70 and it fell to 65 just like that because there is no value of Bitcoin. It's not real. And therefore, I would assume what's happening in the economy with these higher oil prices, mostly in Europe and Asia, not necessarily here, that people are selling their assets to buy because they need oil. You need to have your car, and I don't know if you have whatever in the house, but basically, I need money for oil. What do? I sell my assets. So I sell my gold. I mean, I don't buy that it's all this gold because, first of all, if it's physical, that doesn't affect COMEX. COMEX is only affected by paper. So I don't buy that. Um, I don't buy gold's purchasing power is the same. I don't buy that because you've never had money this bad before in the world where nobody's on the gold standard. So I do believe the value of the gold's going up. So what he thinks is, well, it's an ounce of gold's an ounce of gold, and it buys a cow or whatever. But that's not real because the cow's value, what are you valuing the cow at? $5,000 again, but the dollars are fake. Who knows what the real value of the cow is? So I don't buy that the value of the gold and silver has not gone up. Otherwise, it's 4,500. No, yes, it is the dollar going down, but it's not that simple. It's not just the dollar's worthless, so gold goes up because the dollar's worthless. Gold's going up based on the demand. That's why it's struggling now. Is they're fucking around with it, J.P. Morgan, and they're keeping the price down on it. But that's not the value of gold. But we don't know what the value of gold is because we can't get there yet. We will get there when all these currencies collapse, and all the currencies are going to collapse. The BRICS currencies collapsed, the yuan, the ruble collapsed, but now they're backing it by gold. So the gold's holding the value of their currencies. So when they buy oil, when they go to Iran and buy oil, then that's what happens. You are you're really using the gold to buy the oil, not necessarily the dollars. So keep that in mind. But the value of gold is what? We don't really know what it is. I can guarantee you this 4,500 is bullshit. Why do we keep having this 10 o'clock drop? Why every day at 10 o'clock does the price drop $40, $50? Total bullshit, right? Total bullshit. Total manipulation, total price fixing. And why? I can only assume they want to keep the price down so they can buy it. And I think it ends when there's no more gold available to buy on COMEX. And now it's you want to go to China or Russia. And again, that Luke guy just totally doesn't know what he's talking about. Where he's what did he said? China had all these depositories in these other countries, and that's so they can they can buy gold. They can sell to the other countries. These are all gold depositories where people can buy because those are going to be the new pricing mechanisms. Will be you go to Hong Kong or Singapore and you want to buy gold, you buy it there. That's what these are. These aren't trading or anything like that. But if they want to trade with Iran for their oil, there is a depository. I don't know if it's in Iran or I know there's one in UAE, in Dubai and Saudi Arabia, so they can turn their yuan into gold and just go there for the gold as opposed to. It's just so you can go get it there. It's like having 10 Kroger stores, so you don't have to go to one Kroger store. So that's what these are: St. Pete, Hong Kong, Singapore, Beijing, UAE, Dubai, and Saudi Arabia, where you can go buy gold on the market, physical gold. So again, we're not really seeing a physical price yet, unfortunately. We will get there because they're draining. I don't know what's left in COMEX. There's not a lot left. And as you showed you, the money printing M2 is the way to measure money printing. And they're going to turn on the spigots. So as we go broke, they're either going to raise interest rates for the dollar, which they could do, or they could print and print and print and lower the interest rates, which is what they'll probably do to save the economy. They'll print more money, but all that's going to do is ruin the dollar, which ruins the economy. It's amazing. Very few people understand you can't just print the money and then that's it. So anybody like this Luke Groman guy who talks about well, they'll just print money and it doesn't matter, just has no idea what they're talking about. You can't just print money. The money will go to zero. That's what Egon showed you. Every time it's gone to zero. And that's what happens. And we know that. So that's why you're sitting there and you hear Jim Rickards or this Luke guy or any of these idiots talking, and they just say, well, they'll just print more money. Yeah, but then it's not worth anything. So that's really the key to it. You can't print gold. That's why I say it. That's the inflation, is the printing. That's what makes it lose value. Well, you can't print gold or silver, so it can't lose value. But we don't know what the real value is. There's no way silver's $76 an ounce, and there's no way gold's $4,500. It's worth at least 10 times that. Silver, I think, more like 20, but gold, it's 10 times. So they can keep the price low so the army can buy silver for their weapons, and people can buy gold cheaply if that's what they're waiting for. But that's the only reason I can come up with what they're doing it. Is everybody selling gold to buy oil? I have a hard time with that one. So Turkey's selling their gold. If they're selling their physical gold to buy oil, it wouldn't affect the price. So I don't know. It's just bullshit. They're just printing options. That's how the price goes down, or margin calls. It's when people have to sell their options that makes the price drop. At 10 o'clock, the U.S. just sets a price. They go, that's too high. Let's set it there. So it's really, but then China eats it up. China's just buying and buying. They got 80,000 tons, probably more. Again, there's the shadow banks, there's the central banks, there's the people and everything else. So like a lot of it goes unreported. When Putin buys, he's not going, hey, I bought gold and silver. He's buying tons of it because they have to, for the war, they have to print ruble, but this way they have the gold and silver. Like I say, in his swimming pool, he's got a lot of gold and silver there. So that's what we're really looking at. So what Egon's saying is the dollar will go up because they keep printing it. In a nutshell, you keep printing, but why do they have to keep printing? Because every country is the same. They have this debt. Nobody wants their treasuries, at least the U.S. Nobody wants the U.S.'s treasuries because they don't have a value. You got Bitcoin falling. So are they selling Bitcoin to buy oil? Bitcoin is highly illegal anyway. It's mostly crime-related stuff where people don't want to be known. A lot of drug stuff is Bitcoin. So you're in with the Russian mafia and Bitcoin. So good luck with that one. And you get into gold to keep your value. So if I need to buy oil and stuff, what do I use? Well, my dollar's not worth anything. So why doesn't Turkey just print money and buy oil that way? Because their money's not worth anything because they printed and printed and printed. Sort of like what happened in Sri Lanka and Pakistan, where they just went out, in Zimbabwe and Venezuela, where they went out. The dollar ends up nobody wants it. And we're this far from that happening in the U.S. Nobody wants our treasuries. Nobody wants our dollar. Well, we need the dollar for the petrodollar. Well, they don't need the dollar. They don't want the dollar, they want the oil. So they're buying the dollar to buy the oil. And then what does Saudi do with the dollar? They buy gold and silver and a little bit of stocks. They've been buying stocks. That's why the stock market's up so high. People buying the stocks as a safe haven because they don't want to be in the bonds. And the bonds have no demand. They can't make sales. We're buying our own bonds. Yeah, that's a good thing. It's like me buying my Mantle card. Well, I'll buy it from myself. I'll pay 60,000 for it. Yeah, then it's probably not worth anything if I'm the one who has to buy it. So that's what you have a lot of where what's going to happen is people are going to sell assets to get food and clothing and stuff like that. So as the money becomes worthless, all these people working are making nothing. You're making 100 grand. It's not worth anything. Like I showed you, it's worth $1,000. 100 grand at 99% loss times 0.01 is $1,000. So you're making 100 grand a year. You're really making 1,000. Fortunately, you don't see it because you go to the grocery store and the $20 a pound steak is worth 20 cents. When you divide it, times it by 0.01, $20 is 20 cents. So everything is correlated where you're really getting a steak cheap because your money's not worth anything. And what they're charging you is nothing. It's just peanuts. But you still see it. You still have to pay the money. You still have to pay your credit card. So what we're all banking on is the money goes to zero. The credit cards go to zero because you don't have any money to pay them. So this will be an interesting how they replace the dollar. The ruble, they're on their 8th ruble. The yuan, they're on 5th or 6th. The yen, the Japanese, all these countries are on their 4th or 5th. Canadian dollar, British pound. British pound collapsed in 1991. They're on a new British pound, which is also collapsing. India's rupee is collapsed. They're all collapsing because they can't afford their debt. They all have the same debt we have. They all have the Social Security, Medicare, because their whole populations are getting older and they got to pay their pensions, and then the whole government workers. So they all are in the same trap where they've got to print money because as older people, they're not working, they're not collecting taxes on them. So they're all spending more than they have. And how long can that go? No, not too long. So it's going on, but it's ending. The ship's almost full of water, and we're about to go down in the bottom of the Atlantic. And as Egon's saying, if you don't get off the boat into the lifeboat, you're fucked. And that's basically what he's saying, and what I say is basically you can't wait for the boat to be sinking. You got to get into the lifeboat now. Now, we've been in the lifeboat since 2021 because we knew this was happening because they started printing trillions of dollars and the debt went from 25 to 30. Now it's at 40 and it's going to go to 50. There's nothing that can stop the debt. It's gone. The only thing that you could do it with would be gold. If you're buying a lot of gold and then you raise the price to $100,000 an ounce and you had 20 tons, then you could pay off your debt. But Trump's not smart enough to do that, especially the Scott Simpson guy. What I didn't like about this Luke guy, he started, oh, well, Trump and Scott Simpson know what they're doing. And I'm like, okay, this guy's a moron. So you got to watch these government guys. You've got to watch these professors because most of them are not Keynesian or not Austrian. They're Keynesians. So the first thing when you hear somebody talking to you is, who are they? If they're not Austrians, they're full of shit. And you've got to understand that. This Luke Grumsey guy is a Keynesian. Jim Rickards is a Keynesian. Egon is a banker, but he understands Austrian economics. So that's what I give you is him and Mark McGuire are fairly Austrian. Those are the guys that you need to kind of listen to. But I feed you all the information anyway. What I'm telling you, when I show you what Egon, we've already talked about it many times. This is what's happening, and this is why. And he's just repeating what I've already told you, but I'm giving you another point of view. But that's why you have to be in physical gold and silver. And why are they repressing it then? Why don't they want gold and silver to be the real price? Because they can't control you. It's called freedom. You have freedom in gold and silver. You don't pay tax. If you have the money in the bank and you're in a money market and it goes up 3% a year, you make $5,000, you got to pay tax on it. Gold goes up from 2,000 to 5,000, you don't pay a nickel. There's no capital gains tax on it because you didn't sell it. There's no interest income because it's not interest. So it's just free and it just goes up. And now you've got this. And guess what? It's going to go up more. That's how you retire. You retire on gold and silver, like I'm doing. I basically, what do they tell you? Buy stocks, and then you're going to take your big dividend stock and your growth stocks. So they break it into two. And then the growth stocks they think are just going to keep going up. And the dividend stocks you're going to pull to pay rent and eat and stuff like that and pay your utilities is with dividend stocks. But what happens when the market crashes? You're fucked. Gold and silver can't crash because you can't print them. They can only go up once we get out of this COMEX bullshit nightmare. So that's really the key to it. So they're keeping it down because they want you to buy stocks and be in the banks and basically lose everything. So you need the government. This is the government protecting you. Meanwhile, the government also wants to buy gold and silver, so they keep the price down to buy it. And this, now the war and people, well, I need oil, so I'm going to sell my gold. Yeah, bullshit. Just print money if you're a government. So I don't know how many people are actually selling their paper contracts in gold to buy oil, and that's what is keeping it down. So I don't buy that. Does the war really do it? Well, we've had the Russia-Ukraine war and gold went up. So I don't know that that's it. I don't know everything in the oil market, but maybe it's the demand for oil and you're selling your gold to do it. But I don't know. Nothing makes sense. Gold should be spiking through the roof with wars because the dollar, it's expensive and the dollar will be worthless. Luke Roman said something, but it didn't make it. Oh, I can tell you why gold's not going up. And I listened and I said, no, that doesn't make any sense. So he doesn't even understand the difference between paper and physical. And that's the key. When they're talking 4,500 for gold, it's paper, not physical. And I showed you the oil. Oil's okay, was like $90 a barrel, and that's paper oil. The real barrel price is like 150, and that's what these people see. That's the problem. They're paying like the Asians and I guess Turkey and some of these countries are paying the barrel price $150 a barrel, and they need money for that. They're not looking at that's West Texas at 85. So let's see. So let's see. All right. So again, the bullshit. Now gold's went all the way down to 44.60, which is where it was there. Funny how it went to the same spot, and now it's back to 44.70, and we'll probably get 45 and silver. But let's look at Bitcoin. Down to 63,000. How comfortable are you now in Bitcoin? I thought it's going to 1 million. It's 63,000. what's happening? I assume they're selling it for oil also. Let's look at the price of gas. So the crude oil as of now is 80.22, but that's the same as gold. It's bullshit. Well, they're paying $150 a barrel in Asia, Japan, in those countries, if they're even buying it, right? I think they're still buying it from the Strait of Hormuz from Iran. So they're not using the US dollar. So much for the petrodollar. The petrodollar was supposed to buy treasuries so we can have a higher debt and sell treasuries. We still have to pay back Saudi Arabia. We still have to pay them back because they bought our treasuries, but we own. But now they're not. They're buying, I believe what they're doing is buying this. So they went from buying bonds. So now they're buying stocks. This is all Saudi Arabia and the US. Why would the stock market be up $877? What are you kidding me? For what reason? AI? All right, let's go into AI. What is AI? Just a way of asking for data. Who won the last 5 World Series? And AI will give it to you. So why is AI stocks going up? Oh, there's 2 trillion in sales supposedly, which is probably a fat lie. But okay, I worked in companies, Ford, GM, Mercedes, since probably the mid 80s. Okay. And in those companies, we used Excel. It was Lotus 1, 2, 3, and it got bought out by Microsoft because they can't come up with anything on their own. So they bought Lotus 1, 2, 3 and called it Excel. Well, that made us more productive, but it didn't make the company any more money. The production was up, but they're still buying. You still had my cost. So you're paying me at that time maybe 50 grand. Now I'm using Excel, so I'm doing more work more easily, but your company's not making any more money because my cost was 50,000. My cost didn't go down because of Excel. It was good. You would run a ledger, you would download it into Excel, and you'd analyze it. You got the data from the ledger. That's all AI is doing, is grabbing the data from a ledger or from some data source. So all this data, AI goes after it. It says, give me World Series or give me Super Bowls or give me what the gold price was or whatever it's doing. But the productivity is not going to go up very much versus what Excel gives you. And now there's S-Base, which is another way of pulling data. Give me the cost center, give me the budget, give me the actual, give me these accounts. And so it does the same thing basically. So is AI different than Excel? I'm saying no. And not only that, but did the company become more valuable because of Excel? And I'm going to say no again. I became more productive, so I could do more things. That didn't make the company any more money. Maybe you didn't need to have 2 heads; you could just have me. So maybe you did cut a head by having me, but I still had to analyze it and give it to my boss and say, "Hey, we're at 22,300,000. That's our spend for the year." So by getting rid of me, AI can't do what I do. is AI going to be any different than Excel and Essbase? And I say no. Again, you cannot get rid of the employee, which is what they're trying to think is, oh, with AI, I can cut all my employees and I won't have any employees. It's ludicrous to think like that. These people are idiots. If they think that that's the way out, they're crazy. So why is this stock market going up from AI? Why is everybody buying the AI stuff? Because they have no fucking clue. Just like gold. Why aren't they buying gold? Because they have no fucking clue that the dollar is being printed to zero and gold can't be printed and gold's going to hold its value. In fact, gold's value will go up. So that's the only place I argue with Egon and Mark McGuire, that it's the dollar going down, not gold going up. And no, you don't know what the value of gold is. It's not the paper value. So what is the physical value of gold? We don't know. So is it 4,500? No, it wasn't 2,000. It wasn't 3,000. It wasn't 4. It wasn't 5. What is the real value, which we don't know because we're not getting to the free market. We're getting to this manipulated COMEX bullshit. Let's do a 10 o'clock drop crap. But the real value of gold is much higher. We don't know what it is. So don't say it's not gold going up. The value of gold is unknown. That's my balk against what Egon just said. The value of gold. Now you're going to buy a cow. No, it can't. You don't know what the price of the cow is. You know what it is in monopoly money. You don't know. You don't have real money to price the cow. So you can't say a half ounce of gold would buy a cow. Not if the real value of gold is $50,000. You're going to buy 10 cows for that. So he's missing that point. Yes, the gold value is unknown and it's much higher than this COMEX price fixed value. Yes, the dollar, he's correct. The dollar will lose value but gold won't. Well, that's part of it, but what is the gold value? And you don't have it measured at market. You have it measured at paper. You have the paper value of gold. You don't have the physical value of gold. And that's where I argue with these guys all day and all night that they're wrong and I'm right, because we don't know what the real value of physical gold is, because there's only 220,000 tons of it. And they're pricing it as if there's 4,300,000 tons of it. And there's not. So the value of the 200,000 tons remains unknown. But we know it's got to be at least, probably, if we do the math, 20 times more, because you're doing 4 million and we're doing 200,000. I don't even think that's 20. I think it's like 200. So do we know what the real value of gold is? No. So how does he think it won't change? It will, of course it'll change. And the ounce of gold, we don't know what the value is of it. We've never gotten a real value of gold. And we hope we're going to get it. We hope we get a physical gold price. And that will be the key. And that's why the governments are scared of it, because they know if we have gold, we don't need the government. We have our gold, it's worth $1 million, and I don't want anything from the government. So the government will become useless. We don't need anything from the government. All they do is cause problems. They steal, they lie, they cheat, they cause wars, they ruin their money. The laws are corrupt. All the people in politics are corrupt. We don't need any of it. Just have gold. We do need laws to follow, which is the Constitution. We should not have tax, and we need stable currency, and we need a little military. And that's all we need. The military should defend the U.S., not be in all these countries and trying to blow up these guys who want to accept the dollar in yuan and other non-U.S. things. That's the key to it. But that's the point. So we don't really know what the value of gold is. So that's where Egon and Mark McGuire really don't get it. It's not the value of gold, they say, doesn't go up. It's the dollar going down. Well, first of all, the dollar's down 99%. I don't think it's going down anymore. I think when people realize it's worthless, and that's the key. How do you get people to realize the dollar is worthless? People won't because they'll go to Kroger's and they can use it. But all the costs, all the prices are higher. That's the dollar losing value, but nobody will understand that. Look at Apple Jacks is now $8 a box for cereal. That's what that goes right over their heads, right? Oh, milk's whatever. I don't know. I don't buy milk. I buy half and half. Whatever. Eggs. Well, eggs have come down, and again, we control the market prices. $3 for Coke, we say fuck you, and then Coke you see 2 for $5 because we don't buy it at 3. So we control the prices, so they're not just going to go crazy. Nobody understands hyperinflation, which I just explained is hyperinflation. This is the worst stop. Is money supply increases, prices increase faster. So it's the prices going up, expectations drive the whole system. So people are expecting the prices to go up. They run and buy it and they turn into a frenzy, which is the hyper part of hyperinflation. It's the people panicking and the prices going up because, oh, I need milk. But I don't think that's going to happen because we'll just not buy, it's certain items maybe, but not most of them. It might happen in gasoline because what else? We don't have another option. And it will happen in gold and silver because we don't have another option. Luke Groman spent a lot of time with stocks. Let's buy this stock and that stock. He doesn't get it. The stock market's going to crash. This is the problem. Everybody thinks the stock market will do fine. Oh, buy the oil stock, buy the silver stocks, buy the oil, the defense kind. You're in money. You're in paper. You're monopoly money. You're in this garbage. You're still in this. Oh, I made $10,000 of this. It's still worthless. $1 million of this, it's still worthless. Or our favorite, the euro. These are worthless currencies. So if you make $100,000 in the stock market in this, it's still worth nothing. So you've taken the risk in the stocks that you're going to make it. You're going to pay tax on it. It's not worth anything. And that's why the banks are keeping the price down. A, so they can buy gold and silver. And B, you're not going to pay tax on it. So they want you in something you're going to pay tax on. So if you're in either Bitcoin or you're in the stock market, when you pull it, you're going to pay tax. So you make money on Amazon, guess what? You're paying $10.99. You made money, you pay tax. It's a tax lever. But we want to keep you out of gold because there's no tax. If I bought gold at $1,700 and it's $5,000, I don't pay a nickel in tax. Even when I sell it, I don't pay a nickel in tax. So I called the store who gave me 94%. Where did that piece of paper? Oh, here it is. So this one store, LNT, 94% on all their gold. Cougaran, Maple Leaf, Eagle will give you 94%. My other store in Ann Arbor is going to give me 98, 99% for anything. Cougaran, Eagle, gold's gold. And that's how it should be. My one store is 96 on the Eagles, but 92 on the non-Eagles. They're on drugs. But the point is, I don't pay tax. Now, the girl at the LNT store, the 94% for everything, she said, oh, it's 1,000 ounces of silver or 22 ounces of gold is when you pay tax, is when you get $10.99. So none of us is going to sell 1,000 ounces of silver or 22 ounces of gold. If you do, I'm going to smack you. I'll make you run a mile, like in gym class, run a mile. Because we don't want to get out of it. We want to stay in it. The house is burning down. Now is not the time to get out of insurance. Now is the time to get in it. You can think of gold as insurance, but it's much more than that. It will go up. You're going to make a lot of money in physical gold and silver without a risk. You have no risk in gold and silver. To put it as bluntly as I can, you buy a Mantle card, a Mantle rookie, you have no risk in your portfolio. The price of that's not going down. The Montana rookie card's 100, 120. It ain't going down. The Rice rookie, uh, Kareem rookie, the Wilt Chamberlain cards. You have no risk in your portfolio. It's coming down as long as it's graded and everybody knows it's a real card. The gold and silver, you have no risk in your portfolio that the price is going down. Yeah, we see the paper price drop. It was 5,500. Now it's 4,600, 4,500. We understand that, but that's the paper price, not the physical. Well, what's the physical? We don't have it yet, but we're getting it. That's what China's doing with all these little operations in Hong Kong and Singapore and St. Petersburg and Dubai and Saudi Arabia. That's what they're doing. Is those are the physical stores to buy and sell physical market, and we'll get a physical market, and we get a real physical price in gold and silver. And it doesn't have to be in dollars; it can be in anything. Gold's gold. It's whatever your currency is. That like now, I need cash for some bills, so I'm going to sell 1 ounce. And I'll get 45, 4,600, hopefully 5,000. I can wait. Hopefully I get 5,000 for it. And that'll be the key. I figure I got 2 weeks. Hopefully they'll give me cash and then I can, and I'm only selling one. I really could probably sell a half ounce, but I'll just sell the ounce and not worry about it. And then of course gold will hit 6,000 as soon as I sell it. Typical, but yeah, I could sell a half if it's 5,000 and get close to 2,500 for it, and that should hold me off for about 8 months. But I don't want to keep going back. I just want to, and I'm not looking to sell my gold or silver. This is the rule. This is why you're selling it. In other words, if I was in stocks, I'd be selling 100 shares of Amazon, and then I'd have money. The thing is, you have to get back into the money. So if I held my Bobby Bull card, let's say Bobby was worth $1,000. We only wish Bobby. Let's say this was $1,000 card. It's still, you can't use it for money, right? I can't, it's not money. It's an asset. It has a value. And the difference is we know the value because of the market and eBay will tell us what it's worth. But we can't go to the Kroger's with it or pay your apartment, your rent with it or your food with it. You have to turn it into monopoly money and use this to buy the food. And this is what people don't get. When Bobby's kids said, well, what you can't go to the grocery, you can't eat the gold and silver, you can't go to the grocery store. That's not what you're trying to do. You need this, but this isn't worth anything. But most people don't understand it. So you're converting your asset into this to use to pay a bill, to go on a vacation, to buy food, clothing, whatever it is you're trying to buy. But as you run out of money, because all my money's in gold and silver and Mantle cards, the keys then is, okay, I sell 1 ounce and I get some cash back. And that's the whole point of it. So then I get the cash back, and I, with that, I then use that to buy things, because that's the only way to buy them is with cash or your credit card or debit card. But you got to pay back your debit card, credit card. The debit card just pulls from your bank, so you're going to have to put money there or into the credit card. So you still need cash for those two until the cash is worthless. So the idiot politicians believe we'll just keep printing. It'll lose value. They can't comprehend that it's going to lose value. So we'll just keep printing and keep printing and keep printing. Oh, as long as we have money, we'll print it. And then, as things, we'll go to the barbecue place and it'll be $50 for a hamburger, because these morons will kill the value of it. So that's really what we're trying to do. However, while gold might not lose value. We don't know what the value is of physical. Again, he's talking paper. Well, it's not the gold going up. Well, first of all, you're talking paper. So, yes, it is the gold going up. We don't know what the real value of an ounce of gold is. We only know it's at least, well, whatever, what, 4 million divided by 200,000 is how much? So we know it's worth at least that much more. It's worth a lot more because you're valuing it at a supply of 4,000,003 instead of 200,000. Silver, you're valuing it at 75 billion instead of 1 million. So that's why we know it's worth a hell of a lot more once we get to paper pricing. The government is fighting it, A, to keep prices low so they can buy, and B, again, they don't collect tax on it. So if you're broke and you need tax dollars in, you don't want the gold price to go up because you don't want people in gold. You want people in the market or Bitcoin or something where they collect tax on it. Oh, you're selling your Bitcoin, you're 1099. You're selling your stock, you're 1099. You got your money in the bank, in an annuity or in a money market, you're getting interest on it. You're then paying tax on it. So gold's freedom is we don't pay tax on it. Even if we sell 5 ounces of gold and we sell 100 ounces of silver, you're not getting 1099. So it's just funny how they try to scare you. Oh, you're going to pay 1099 and it's 50, 60%. It's all bullshit. If you're selling gold, just don't sell 22 ounces. Sell 10 here and next month sell 10 more. Nobody will know. Nobody cares. Nobody's reporting it. If nobody reports it, you're fine. I'm curious when we travel, like if I go to Switzerland, what do I got to do? I'm not going to report it. I'm just going to put it in. I'm going to put it in my wallet with the, so I showed you. So if we say these are gold, these are the same cases that the gold's in, right? But these are casino chips. But let's say these were worth like $5,000. They go right into my wallet, right? Boom, boom, boom. And I put it on the conveyor belt. What are they going to see? They're looking for weapons. They're not looking for this. What if I had a mantle card? What if I got my mantle card graded and it's a 10 and it's worth $2 million? Now, I don't know why I would go to Switzerland with it, but that would be the point. Who do I want to put up there? I'm going back to Stardust. So, I mean, that's the thing. We make money in football. We don't pay tax on it. There's no capital gains on it. That's the beauty of casino gambling is you don't pay tax on it when we win football or baseball. We don't pay tax when we win at poker or when we win at craps or roulette or baccarat. You don't pay tax on it. There's no capital gains tax. That's why people do it. You only pay tax when it's a stock and they report the tax. Okay, he made this much. But you don't really pay tax when Amazon goes from 100 to 200. You only pay tax when you cash it. But you only gain things. So we just saw Bitcoin at 63,000. I know everybody bought it at $500. Well, let's say 1,000. So now your capital gains is 62,000. Are you cashing out or are you waiting till it goes to zero? Are you worried that, wait a minute, it's supposed to go up because Michael Saylor said it is, but yet it just went from 120 to 65 to 81. Now it's 63 and it's probably headed south. Can you answer why it's down? Well, I assume they need money to buy oil, right? Because it's the same idiots in it. It's Trump, it's Larry Fink, it's Michael Saylor. Those are the biggest guys manipulating the price, but they need money for the oil or whatever. Wait till the stock market starts crashing. Now, again, a lot of it is Saudi Arabia buying stocks instead of bonds. Don't know what China and Japan, they're dumping. I heard they dumped $60 billion, and China dumped $60 billion of treasuries. Nobody wants the treasury, and they're dumping it. So we're gonna give you inflated money for your treasuries, and that ain't gonna happen. You owe $40 trillion. Where are you going to get that? So how you don't think we're broke? I'd like to talk to you if how you don't think we're broke when we are $40 trillion in debt. We can't sell our bonds to get more. The petrodollar's gone, and even if Saudi Arabia gets some, they're not buying treasuries; they're buying stocks. Good for them, bad for you, because you need the treasuries to pay all the government employees and Medicare, Social Security, and your interest on the debt, which is $1 trillion, I guess, every 100 days or so. And now that it's at 40, it's going to go up. And what are you going to do? You're going to raise interest rates? Well, I got news for you. Interest rates does not stop inflation, because inflation's not prices. Inflation is money printing. So you're going to money print more money to stop inflation? But that's the inflation, the money printing. Well, it'll keep the prices down. That's not inflation. So again, you're listening to Keynesians who don't know what they're saying, and everybody's going to get in trouble listening to morons like Luke Groman and the other guy, Rickards and Rick Rude and all those guys. At least Rick Rule yesterday admitted, "Oh, I'm just a credit analyst. I'm not an economist." I called him out on that. I called him an idiot and a liar, that you're full of shit. And now he's careful about, he's been called out and he's wrong. And we know he's wrong. That's like that Robert Kiyosaki. He's a scammer. He's a Madoff. He did a whole Ponzi scheme. So you can't listen to that guy. He's just a salesman. You got to be careful. You want to listen to economists like me who can explain the picture to you. Money printing loses value on the dollar. And it's nothing I say is a guess, right? I'm not guessing. I'm not estimating. I guess in baseball yesterday, yeah, Pitt was a lock, was a educated guess, and it won. So I do have an idea of what I'm doing. And today's free pick, Philadelphia. Again, it's a very good guess, but it's a guess. But that's what handicapping is. It's all guessing. I just know how to guess very, very good. I have good feelings, and I pretty much know what's going to happen. Game 2, San Antonio. It's a guess, but it's based on they have to win. So I'm backing up my guess with very good reasons for the play to happen. We bet against the Z teams. We take the A teams. We take the over teams and the under teams. But in gold and silver is not a guess. That's a fact. The ship is sinking and you need the lifeboat. The dollar, they're printing it every month. They're printing more and more. As I said, Social Security and the government employees and the interest on the debt and whatever they pay these defense contractors. And that is not a guess. That's a fact. They are printing more money, and the more money they print, the less it's worth. And it's going to zero, and we're bankrupt, and we got 40 trillion in debt, and we have no gold, and that's it. That's where you're at with it. So you have all that, and then what do you have? You have gold you can't print, silver you can't print, and there's huge demand for it. That's not a guess; those are facts. So you have something strong demand, which the price will go up because it's limited, but it's been priced in paper. And I say once we get to a physical price, it'll shoot up 20, 30 times. And that's it. But the dollar, there's nothing they can do. It is worthless and broke and has no value. That's not a guess, that's a fact. So understand that. But when you're listening to Jim Rickards or this Luke Groman guy, or even Peter Schiff, these guys are fucking idiots. They don't know what they're saying. They're just salesmen. Peter Schiff wants you to buy gold. Okay, I get that. I don't know what Luke Roman is smoking, and I don't know what Jim Rickards. These are MMT guys that are socialists that are trained in the wrong thing. They're Keynesians, and it's wrong. So they know they're Keynesian talk, but it's wrong. Oh, we'll just keep printing money. You can't just keep printing money, you idiots. That's why you got to be careful who you listen to. So run it by me if you go, hey, what do you think of this? That's why I'm here, to educate. But you don't even have to do that, because I'm telling you what's going on, so you know. These wars are terrible. They're very expensive. All I know is Russia and China are buying as much gold and silver as they can. And if it's good enough for them to buy it, then you should follow their lead. They're dumping treasuries. So they're dumping dollars and buying gold and silver. So what should you do? And again, do you want to pay tax on your, so you make $20,000 on your silver stocks, on your Amazons, and on your defense contractor, or now your AI, NVIDIA, you're going to have to pay capital gains tax on it, A, and B, it's not even real. It's fake money. You're winning money that's worthless. So what's the point of that? So why would you be in stocks? Well, make money, but the money's worthless. That's why you need to get out of Bitcoin, even because it's backed by dollars, it's going to zero. Stable coins, it's going to be backed by dollars. The dollars are worthless, but yet you don't hear anybody telling you this, except for me, maybe Egon. The money is worthless, right? So I give you Egon so you don't think I'm out of my mind, but oh yeah, there's somebody else that supports the argument. It's a support of the argument, right? But that's where it's at. The money is worthless. So you can only go into gold and silver, but you're now all in gold and silver, and your mantle cards will hold value because it's a real asset, and your Brady and your Jordan, and your Picasso will hold value, and your Rolexes will hold value. So all that's really good, but you can't use it at Kroger. So you have to eventually trade it in for whatever is the money that's used to go to Kroger or to the barbecue. And I can use silver at the barbecue. So that's what you're looking at. But that's where you're at with it. But you've got to understand it, and you got to believe whoever's telling you. You got to smell what the rock's cooking, and I'm cooking what's really happening, and they're cooking a bunch of bullshit. Oh, we can print all the money we want. We can just keep printing it, but it might lose value. Oh, no, it won't. Why would it lose value? And then I just showed you hyperinflation. It's the fear in the people who don't know what's going on, that the prices will just keep rising and rising and rising. That's hyperinflation. It's not the printing. It's prices going up extremely fast, but it's the emotion of the people who are freaking out that their milk's now costing $10. That's the part of the hyperinflation. It's prices going up really, really fast. But as we know, it's not necessarily going to happen because we control the price. Why isn't Coke $30 for a 2-liter? Because we won't buy it at $3. We're not going to pay $30 for it. And they keep having to put it on sale 2 for $5. That's how we fight hyperinflation, is we don't buy it. And again, there's 2 products that we need. One's oil and the other's gold and silver. Otherwise, I don't need a steak. I can get a hamburger or chicken or salmon, and they have to sell it at the price what the market will bear, because if they try to sell it up here, there's nobody to buy it. Well, now I'll wait and I'll buy this. So that's the thing with hyperinflation and prices. You can't necessarily just raise the prices, because we won't, again, there's nobody home to buy it, right? We're over here. We're at $10 for a New York strip. Why don't you make it $100? Nobody will buy it. Nobody buys it at 20. You eventually have to put it on sale to beat the market to buy it. So hyperinflation, I doubt, will happen here. Again, maybe in oil, and maybe gold and silver will definitely, you're going to see very high prices there. Now, again, Comex paper is price fixing, manipulating it, but we understand that. We know this is not a real price. It's only frustrating if you're trying to sell like I am, and I want to get $5,000 for it because I know it's worth more than that. But it's a real good time to buy at 44, 4,500. It's a great time to buy because you know the price is really worth much higher. So anyway, let's check our gold price out, and let's see. I hate when I go on the page, I got to refresh it. All right, we're back to 44.80. So we're at 45.10. We went down to 44.60 because it's the 10 o'clock drop, which is how phony is that? And now we're back to 44.80. So I expect us to be back to 45 this afternoon, and hopefully China pushes it up to 46, 47. Because you can see when it goes up, I mean, it was 44.70 here at 7 o'clock, and it pushed all the way up to 45 down. It went up $40. Then it goes down $50, and then it goes back up $20. What's the real price? We don't know. It's a paper fantasy. But that's what you're dealing with. So keep that in mind. The COMEX price is fantasy. But there are people wanting to buy it. And when you do, it's an option. So you sell it, somebody has to buy it. And when they do buy it, they want physical gold for it, not paper. And they just don't have the physical gold in COMEX to sell it. And then they will be fucked. Again, okay, people are selling for oil. That's a new one. We've seen the war in Russia, Ukraine. People weren't selling for oil. Yes, the oil price is up a little bit. And they're saying in the future, by the end of July, if this war keeps going, we'll run out of oil supply, the inventory, and then it's really going to shoot up. And again, that's one thing that will be hyperinflation, because you can't not have it, because you got to drive your car, and there's no substitute. Well, I guess the electric car is a substitute, but then you're charging every day, if you can even find chargers. I don't know where chargers are. I go to the gas station, I go to the pump, I fill it in. Is there chargers for my electric car that I don't have, that I'll never have? But generally, 99% of the people have gas cars, especially in America. And so we don't really have an alternative. We're going to have to buy Shell, Sunoco, Mobil. It doesn't matter. We're going to have to get gas, and all these gas stations are pretty similar. Although I do notice, if I drop a list off in her neighborhood, it's 30 cents cheaper than it is in my neighborhood. And you wonder about that, like, what the fuck? So that's the key to it. So that's the one thing that we could get hyperinflated on, is we don't really have a choice. We cannot drive as much or do 5 errands at the same time. I'm going to go to the gas station, and I'm going to go to the grocery store, and I'm going to go to the gym at the same when I'm out, instead of coming back and going out again. So that's something you can do. But generally, what are you going to do? You got to go to the grocery store. I got to go to the gym and work out. Occasionally the bank, and the bank and the grocery store are close enough. I could ride a bike. They're basically 1.5 miles away, but then you got to carry the groceries. So I guess I could get one of those little, baskets for it. But I'll be driving. So, I mean, that's the only item. Otherwise, all our food and clothes will not get hyperinflated, because we'll just not buy it, or I don't have to get Polo. I can get the sailboat Nautica, which is a lot cheaper. And again, businesses are in business to make money, so they have to sell their inventory. So if they make the price up here, and the market's not willing to pay, I don't care what their costs are, they can't sell it. You cannot sell Fruit Loops at $20 a box. The market's here at like $4. I mean, that you just can't sell it, because your costs went up and you have to mark the price higher. It doesn't work that way. It's what we will allow you to sell it to us for. And we're not going to let you sell Fruit Loops for $20 or Coca-Cola for $5 a bottle or milk or juice or any of that stuff. By the way, careful with the juice, the orange juice, grape juice. It's highly, highly sugar. Sugar's killing everybody with the high fructose corn syrup. So just be careful on that. That's why when I go to the restaurants, I just get water with a lemon. It's not being cheap. I don't want to pay for the pop. I don't want, Alyssa was over and I had Diet Squirt and she said, oh, that's pretty good. I says, well, there's no sugar and there's no caffeine in it. It's Squirt. So it's not, you don't get the caffeine, you don't get the sugar, but you do get some of the man-made bullshit ingredients that they have in the pop. But at least I don't have the caffeine and the sugar to kill me. So I get it once in a while, not often, but mostly I'm having water with ginger and cinnamon, and lemon, and that kind of stuff. And so when I'm out, that's what I normally get. Because you got to be careful, especially now. Coke used to be sugar, is now high fructose corn syrup, which is far more deadly. That's why everybody's diabetic. And I just see people in the hot tub, and they got these huge stomachs, and I go, oh, fuck, he's diabetic and he's got high blood pressure. He's going to have a stroke. And what do I do? Do I talk to him or not? Does he want to hear it? And it's the same thing with get out of stocks, get out of money. We know it'll save their lives, but do they want to hear it? Will they listen to it? Who am I? One guy questioned if I was an economist. I got a master's. Oh, no, you don't. I'm like, yeah. What are you talking about? I can't make it up. I mean, there's my diploma on the wall. Right here is my diploma. I do have a master's in economics. So, it's corporate finance and economics too. But it's Austrian economics. I actually learned something. So these are what's going on. So anyway, please be careful. We understand what's going to happen, so we prepare for it. So you buy as much gold and silver as you can carry, and then you won't need wheelbarrows. The wheelbarrows are for the dollars and the euros and the British pound, the Swiss franc, not for gold and silver. They've never had that in a wheelbarrow, so keep that in mind. So that's what's going on. Free play today, Philadelphia. Take them to win, and or place that bet on Lucky Dan, right? Bet on to place, not to win. What a stupid scam that was. Oh, I said place it. No, I'm pretty sure I only want the winning horse, not the horse coming in second. So bet Philly to win, don't bet Lucky Dan. That's your free pick. I got 7 games. Again, it's Thursday. There's not as many games, and you got to be careful. There's some games you don't know who the pitcher is, or it's the bullpen day, and what do you do with the bullpen day? I mean, it's the stupidest thing. Hey, we got 10 pitchers. Let's pitch all 10 of them. Like, yeah, you're an idiot, right? Because they're not all skilled. They're not all major leaguers. Most of these bullpen guys are minor leaguers, so you're throwing minor leaguers at them. Maybe that's why they just go one inning and say, well, we'll see if we can get through the inning with the minor leaguers. Basketball tomorrow, we're taking San Antonio in a must-win game 2. Football, I've given you week 1. I can maybe we'll go through that on the weekend. We'll go back to some more football. Myles Garrett is a Ram. Aaron Donald is a Ram. Yes. So, and they have another pass rusher in Stafford and Pukanuka, and they got a running back, pretty good offensive line, and they got a good coach. So it's going to be the Rams, the Eagles versus Kansas City and Denver. I love how they put Baltimore and Buffalo ahead of Kansas City and Denver. These people are on drugs. Do you not realize Kenneth Walker is now on Kansas City with Mahomes, who's back? Do you not realize Denver with Sean Payton, and they went to the championship game and they got stronger, and Bo Nix is very good. Do we not understand any of this? Why would Baltimore and Buffalo with new coaches be ahead of Kansas City and Denver? These are idiots talking to you. These are the same guys telling you you can print all the paper, all the money you want, just print the paper. So it's unbelievable. Anyway, I don't know what to tell you with Scanes and Irrigetti yesterday. What a lock that was under, and they score 18 runs. You're like, what the fuck happened there? So a lot of it's pitch count. And a lot of these managers are so smart. We'll just hit a bunch of foul balls and run Scanes' pitch count up to 106. 106 and 4 2/3 innings. Like, why is it 25 pitch innings, 26 pitch innings? So don't know what to say there. Anyway, buy as much gold and silver as you can. The paper price is not the real price. And the value of gold maybe not doesn't change, but we don't know what the value, and it's a hell of a lot higher than 4,500. Anyway, I will leave you with that. 2:30, I get my haircut, and we will go. And yes, I have a lot more hair, as you can see. I'm castor oiling it, and I hate this look when it just comes down. I don't have enough hair there, but yeah, but I'm so excited with all the hair I'm getting. So anyway, have a good day. Be smart. Think. Buy your gold and silver. Be careful who you listen to. Be careful about Luke Roman and Jim Rickards and the other guy, Rick Flair or Rick Rude and Peter Schiff. These guys are idiots. Andy Scheckman, Dan Maloney. I think they don't know anything. They talk as if they know anything, but what they're telling you is wrong. It's like, oh, the grass is blue, but now I'm Luke Roman, and I tell you the grass is blue, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's green. And that's the problem. I'm telling you it's green. He's telling you it's blue, and you're believing him because why? He's bald and he talks like he's a professor or something. So be very careful on that. These guys don't know what they're talking about, but they think they do, and they're dangerous because they won't tell you the dollar's worthless and to get out of it. And the reason that it keeps staying down is to keep you out of it, but they can't tax you on it, which is number one. And the value is much higher, number two. And does the dollar ever go up in value? No, never. It's only all it's done is gone down. Since 1913, the dollar's gone down in value 99%. Has it ever gone up? No. What do you have to actually buy stocks and buy annuities and go buy Bitcoin to make money. But you don't have to do that in gold. Once we get to a physical price, just sit in gold and let it go up. All right, my friends, have a great day. www.teaserking.com. My baseball is $25 a week. I don't know what you're waiting for. Very rarely, once in a while, I have a losing day. I mean, the only reason I lost Monday is Cincinnati's pitcher didn't pitch. Otherwise, if he pitches, they probably win. But there was only 5 games anyway. All right. Have a good day. I will talk to you tomorrow. www.teaserking.com. All right. Go gold, go silver, go Philadelphia. All right. Ciao.